all know that AJ Styles and Samoa Joe left TNA and totally smashed it. There are other stars that have done this as well, but the real litmus test was making it to WWE and see how they got treated. It was a total roller coaster. Which is why today many have forgotten about some truly awesome jumps. I am Simon from What Culture, and this is the 10 most successful TNA to WWE transitions. Number 10, Abyss. That's right. Despite never appearing as his masked character in WWE, Chris Park has been super successful in the promotion. You just never see him. This is because he was hired as a producer in 2019, and by all accounts is doing a great job. That must be true too, as sometimes people can come and go in that role. It's a bit like an open door policy, but Park is now a mainstay. It's quite lovely to see. You may recall there was a tease of some on-camera action when he was briefly AJ Styles' statistician back in 2020. That didn't go anywhere, mostly as it was during the pandemic, where nothing made sense. I still hope one day he can have the match he deserves, even if it comes and goes as a memory. That dude gave everything to TNA, and it sounds like it's a similar situation now. He has smashed it. Number 9, LA Knight. Another one that goes under the radar. Eli Drake, as he was known in TNA, won the world title, the tag titles, and he was the king of the mountain. He was also well known for his character work outside this bubble, and most people assumed he would go on to bigger and better. Even though he hasn't won a championship in WWE, apart from a brief run with the $1 million belt down in NXT, he had such a good run there, and main roster call-up was always on the cards. And sure, it started oddly when he was recast as Max Dupree, the leader of the wonderful Maximum Male Models, but ever since Triple H switched him back to the more familiar LA Knight, the dude has been on fire. You don't get fans shouting, "Yeah," by fluke. He's a prominent character now thanks to his feud with Bray Wyatt and having a segment with The Undertaker, plus he's reliable. I hope now the spooky Wookiee stuff is done, we don't forget about him. The man has so much more to give. Plus, he's damn entertaining. Number 8, Zelina Vega. This is nuts because right now, Zelina Vega is only 32 years old, and yet she made her TNA debut in 2011. That's called being ahead of the game. Rosita, as she was known then, won the TNA Knockouts tag titles pretty quickly too, and started the Mexican America faction alongside Hernandez and Anarquia. So she arrived and did everything. Why not? She was soon picked up by WWE, where she was teamed with Andrade as he plowed forward to become the NXT champion when they got called up to the main roster. Naturally. Sadly, neither of them were ever booked in the same way under Vince McMahon, and yes, there was some controversy with the term independent contractor that led to Vega being released. But talent never sleeps, and before you knew it, she was back. That resulted in a Queen of the Ring victory where Zelina was able to strut around in a crown, whereas in 2022, she became the mouthpiece for Legado del Fantasma on SmackDown. It was a pretty good effort. It also means Vega has proven herself as a valuable part of the roster, and long may that continue. Number 7, Wes Lee. The Rascals were a very good Impact team. WWE saw this too and brought them on board in 2020 as MSK, and almost instantly they were pushed. They won the Dusty Rhodes Classic and the NXT tag titles pretty quickly, plus they got to hang out with Matt Riddle for a while. Now that does sound pointless, but actually it carries a lot of weight. WWE wanted to make sure there was a spotlight on them. It hit a bit of a stumbling block when Nash Carter was released following a controversial online happening with his ex-wife, and everyone then thought this spelled doom for Wes Lee, even more so when he was stripped of the tag team belts and vanished from television. This is the issue of being one part of a pairing. However, rather than fade away, Lee weathered the storm, returned in 2022, and ever since has raised his game no end. As I speak to you, he is still the North American champion, and the quality of his matches, they absolutely rock. It all served to tell the audience he has what it takes as a single star. When that Raw or SmackDown call comes, there's no reason he can't fit in there too. He's got it. So it has been a crazy ride since those TNA days, but when all is said and done, I kind of feel like he's going to be more than okay. Number 6, Bobby Roode. As we learned recently, Bobby Roode's many years of throwing himself onto the ground have caught up with him, and he needs back surgery. So straight away, we send him nothing but the best. Ever since he debuted in TNA in 2004, though, he wasted no time at all. While he started as a pretty cool member of Team Canada, Roode soon went all JBL on us as he played a rich boy heel, before jumping again into Beer Money, one of the most successful teams in TNA history. It all continued when he and James Storm used that to ignite an awesome feud which culminated when Bobby became the world champion. This was really good TV. It's why Triple H and NXT eventually came calling, and along with his glorious theme song, it all carried on. I mean, he beat Shinsuke Nakamura to win the NXT title before losing it to Drew McIntyre, who was basically following the same blueprint. And sure, Drew has been pushed harder, but Roode was able to find a place for himself alongside Dolph Ziggler, and I tell you, when he is back with Triple H controlling his fate, I would watch this space. Number 5, Samoa Joe. We mentioned him in the intro, and we must do it here too. Samoa Joe is an all-timer. For he smashed it in TNA, he smashed it in WWE, and if Vince McMahon had understood the man more, I've no doubt he would have become world champion. Remember that awesome match with Brock Lesnar? Joe can hang with anyone. He was also only one of 5 men who won the TNA Grand Slam, as he just picked up titles for fun. And don't forget, when NXT got him, he was offered an amazing deal. Sure, you can perform here, but you can also sell your own merchandise and do other bookings. He was a true independent contractor. That didn't last long, as WWE realized his value, so locked him down full time. And then he just ran through everyone. He defeated Finn Balor to become the NXT champion, and on his first night on Raw, he got to choke out Seth Rollins. Joe throughout was totally viable as a major threat. He would soon return to NXT, where he won the World Championship once more, when Nonsense saw him fired, rehired, and then fired again. That should never have happened, but no matter how you look at it, Samoa has found his way no matter the promotion. He's a forever hero as far as I'm concerned. Never puts a foot wrong. Number 4, Xavier Woods, or Consequences Creed as he was known in TNA. And sure, he didn't have the success there that others had on this list, but he did have a solid tag team with R-Truth and Jay Lethal, and won the tag titles before getting released in 2010. Now that is ridiculous knowing what we know now, because WWE picked him up in 2013, and look what he did. Grabbed the opportunity by the horns, and he never let go. It was an interesting start, as he was re-teamed with Truth and basically treated like a comedy figure, until one fateful night in 2014. For he chatted to fellow friends Kofi Kingston and Big E, and they decided to reverse their fortunes. They should come together as the New Day. And do I need to say anything else? No, I do not. Ever since, they have just been on a tear, winning title after title, and cementing the group as surefire Hall of Famers. Even after almost a decade, they still find new ways to entertain me. They rock. Woods was also able to achieve his dream of becoming the King of the Ring. So yeah, you can't criticize this. The guy totally gets it. Number 3, Mickie James. Some fans may not be aware of this, but while during the second part of her career, Mickie James was very successful in TNA, it's where she kicked it all off too. Debuting in 2002 as Alexis Laurie, she joined Raven's The Gathering group as he went after the then NWA heavyweight title. James Mitchell was also part of this and ejected James from the company after hurling a fireball into her face, but there was a reason for this. Mickie was going to WWE. It was full step ahead from there as she kicked off that feud with Trish Stratus, which was excellent, and she won the Women's World title at WrestleMania 22, which was only her 10th match in the company. It was just the start, as Mickie also retired later at Survivor Series and went on to pick up gold on 6 different occasions. This was also done during a time when the female talent had to fight tooth and nail for proper opportunities. She's another that will get in the Hall of Fame as soon as she wants it. James is officially a legend. Number 2, CM Punk. Well, we all forget about this, and there's a good reason for it. CM Punk is synonymous with Ring of Honor given his track record there, but before all of that, he did indeed pop up in TNA. This actually ties into what we just talked about because, yep, he was in The Gathering too. Everyone was flocking to Raven. The irony. Punk would team with him as well alongside Julio De Niro, as they had a few decent matches before Ring of Honor decided they didn't want to work with TNA anymore, so they shut the door. There's not really much else that can be said because we all know the success CM went on to have, but if we are plotting his journey, it does indeed go through TNA, so that counts. Or it does to me, and it's my list. The big question is, of course, what Punk does next, but regardless, it will be a big deal as he's a big deal. I wouldn't dare call it though. It really is impossible to try and figure out. Number 1, AJ Styles. I mean, if you didn't get this before you clicked play on this video, you have never watched AJ Styles. Not only was he the face of TNA and really should have been utilized as such, Styles has just been amazing everywhere. He is one of the best ever. The story gets even better because even AJ assumed he would never get to WWE due to how they saw wrestling, and yet he did arrive and thanks to his skill level, became the world champion. This is just the coolest and reminds you to always bet on yourself. I can't even go through all his TNA accolades as we'd be here all day, but just know he was changing the game and winning as many belts as he possibly could. Without him, I'm not sure Total Nonstop Action hangs around as much as it did, and for fun, just go and pick any match and see what it's like. 99% of the time, you'll get a banger. He will without doubt go into the Hall of Fame eventually, and before then, who knows? Styles is in his mid-40s, but he's still so damn good. He could keep performing for another decade at this rate. It's absolutely fine by me. Know of any other wrestlers that had successful transitions from TNA to WWE? Make sure you let us know in the comments below, and then don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Then head over to whatculture.com where you can read articles like this with your eyes. You can also follow us on social media at WhatCultureWWE and Simon 316. And if you would like to come and watch another video, I promise that you will make my day. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for joining me as always, and you know what? I'll talk to you again soon.